Really excited to be back at our home stadium. First home game of the season. Can't wait to play. It's been a long time coming, and I know our guys will be really excited as well. And got a really good Liberty team coming in here. Coach Hugh Freeze and his team. Coach Freeze always does a great job, and I'm sure it'll be a battle to go get a win. But I know our guys are excited to have that opportunity. So with that said, questions?
Coach, this is Jared McDonald from the Daily News. You said last week, win or lose, you guys were going to wake up, get ready to go for the next week. That's kind of the attitude you guys took last year too. Is that kind of what you've seen from these guys after the loss to Louisville?
Yeah, I really did. After the game, they were down, those kind of things. But it's just kind of our MO. They weren't too down. I felt like we were in a good place. And then yesterday, I talked to him. I said, guys, we're ready to move on. Got a good night's sleep, and we're ready to move on to Liberty. And they had a good look in their eye, and they'll be ready to have their Tuesday practice and get going.
Coach Hunter Smith from WKU. Now that you've had some time to just kind of go back and watch the film against Louisville, what were some of your takeaways?
Well, defensively, we gave up big plays, which we knew was going to be a test for us. Unfortunately, a lot of them came on third down conversions, third and longs. That was disappointing to see. But defensively, I thought we battled hard. I thought we did a great job defensively in the second half, making adjustments and giving us an opportunity to try to stay in the game. Felt like offensively that, we never really found a rhythm. We were behind the chains at times. We had some missed opportunities. We make a long throw down the field to JP, but we fumble it, turn the ball over. I really felt like at that point of the game, we had an opportunity to get up and really have a momentum advantage there. Second half, felt like towards the fourth quarter, we started to find a rhythm, started to move the ball in the run game and those kind of things, but just never could find a good foundation there offensively. I think we got to be better this week, in the passing game with the quarterback. And, I thought he did a nice job for the most part of not turning the ball over, but we got to also get the ball out of our hands, not take sacks. So we need to fix those things. I was really proud of our special teams. I thought they did a great job in the game. Our punter, John Haggerty, was fabulous. 46-yard average, change field position over and over. We had the block punt, and then they've also bobbled a punt that gave us easy touchdowns. So we got to do that this week on special teams again. We got to find a way to get those steal possessions on special teams. So hopefully we'll do that.
Coach Damian Sordelet with the Lynchburg News in Advance, with Malik Willis being named the starting quarterback today for Liberty. How do you expect to defend a dual threat quarterback who you have very limited film on since he was Jared Stidham's backup at Auburn for 2 years?
Yeah, actually familiar with him a little bit. Kind of, how when you're always recruiting, especially quarterbacks, you kind of watch them all. And so remember him as a younger guy and had an opportunity to watch him a little bit limited at Auburn. But good player, good athlete, can run and throw, and he fits Coach Freeze's system with the RPO game and all that. It's going to be a great challenge for our defense. We're going to have to cover the whole field, but we'll look forward to that challenge. But he's a good player, and I think he fits that offensive system well.
Coach Jared with the Daily News again. Going back to special teams, you talked about John and some of those other plays, but kicking the ball, Corey kicked off, and then it seemed like Braden kicked the extra points for you guys. Is that kind of going to be what it's like going forward, or is that kind of still an open competition, or what are you guys doing with that?
Well, right now it will be. Braden will be the kicker for right now. He's going to have the first opportunity. I felt he won the job in camp. It was extremely close. Normally I would give it to the previous starter, but I just felt like he had earned the job for now, and I don't want to put pressure on him to have to go make every kick, but he only had to kick extra points in a game, so we'll see how he handles the field goal job. But it's his job for right now, and Corey does a great job of working hard and being ready. I thought he did a really nice job with his kickoffs in this game, and I know Corey's also made a lot of improvement in the field goal area. So, we'll see. As the season goes on, we'll see if it stays with Braden, or if Corey's able to go win the job back.
Coach Nick Pierce from the Liberty Flames Sports Network. Week 1 to week 2, we always talk about the improvements that a football team can make. What are some of the improvements you hope to make and expect to make going from playing a game against Louisville on the road to being at home against Liberty?
Really just we need to do the everyday things correctly, on all three phases. I'd like to see us offensively to establish a good rhythm, stay in front of the change, have good balance, establish a good run game. I think that's going to be really important for us so that we can take shots down the field and those kind of things. Defensively, we got to get them off the field on third down, and that'll be the name of the game. And then we got to limit the big plays down the field. We're gonna see those shots again, and we got to get to the quarterback, got to get him off his spot and try to keep pressure on him. And when he takes off and runs with it, we got to get him down. And if we can do those things and play good special teams, we'll be fine.
Coach, a follow-up to that, can you kind of give me a little bit on Gage Walker? I know, obviously unique story going from DB to running back and then rushes for 1,200 yards last year. What gave you that inclination that he was a guy that you wanted to make that move with last year?
Well, he had played running back before in high school. Was, a guy that's just a good athlete. Like you said, he was playing nickelback for us and really wasn't seeing much of the field. And we were just at the time last year trying to maximize our talent on the field. And so we were a little limited at running back. And so we just one day said, hey, let's take a look at him and see what he can do. And he had that flash, and so it just built from there. And, running backs is the one position that, you can do a lot of things with them. Some of the best corners I've ever seen were previously running backs and the vice versa. So he's had a good career. It's early in the season. We're going to need him down the stretch. And I do like our running back position overall. I think we've added some depth there. You saw us play multiple guys in the game. I was glad we were able to get those guys in. But Gage needs to be our workhorse for us for sure.
Coach Jared with the Daily News. I know the big plays that they made on third down were pretty obvious, but your defense was close to some big plays right before that. D'Angelo hits Cunningham in the end zone and he fumbles, and then you get another tackle for a loss right after, to force 3rd and 16. Then on the next scoring drive, Antoine almost comes away with a pick. I know they say almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, or close only counts, or whatever the saying is, but does that give you any kind of hope or anything, or make you feel any better about going forward?
No, I was actually sick to my stomach at the time. No, I hope so. Every game's a new game. And the keys to the game is make your plays when they're there. If you don't make them, then those are the things that happens. And, there's no such thing as woulda, shoulda, coulda, so either you do or you don't. And, we, like you say, we were very close, but close is not good enough. So in this next coming game, we're going to have to create those plays and make those plays. And I give a great example with Kincaid. I mean, he was in great position on the try to make the interception. He did all the right things. He jumped up to catch the ball, but he didn't high point the ball. And so if you don't high point the ball, that's what happens to you. And the receiver was in a good spot. And so, hopefully you make those corrections. And we've worked on those things in practice. Coach Andy LaRussa works on that every day. And I'm just using that as an example because I thought Kincaid had a really good game, especially in the run game. I thought he did a really nice job. And, but those little tiny things that you work on every day at practice, they show up in the game. And, you got to capitalize on those things.
Coach Nick with the Liberty Flames Sports Network again, just with Pigram first game as a starter, and you watched all the success Ty Story had last year. What's that learning curve like for a new guy, and then I guess for you as a head coach, with your patience level and trying to coach him through some of the mistakes that he's going to make early on. I mean, what's the curve, and how long do you think it takes?
Yeah, you broke up there at the end, but I think you said the learning curve. Piggy's doing a really good job. He's picked up the offense very well. I think he managed things well. He was very calm in the game. I thought he ran the ball extremely hard. He was very tough. We got to find our rhythm. I think we got to do a couple things to help him out a little bit. I really like that he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't throw it to them. That's a huge part of playing quarterback. I tell all the quarterbacks, just don't throw it to them, and we can win football games. And I thought he did a good job there. He took a couple sacks that were unnecessary. We got to fix that, and he's got to get the ball out of his hands. But he's an older guy, and I think he's picked up the offense pretty well. We knew that in the first game there was going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I felt very comfortable with him out there, and I think he'll make a big step this week.
Coach Hunter with WBKO, you said that it was a lot of the scenarios that you put yourselves in that hurt you all against Louisville. What are some things that you need to clean up to make sure you put yourselves in better situations offensively?
Well, we got behind the chains. I think I counted there was like 5 or 6 times that, we had negative plays. And when you play a good Louisville team, you can't have those plays, and particularly in the run game. I think back to the first play of the second half. We run an outside zone play and we lose 4. So now it's 2nd and 14. So, those are the things we got to fix. We can't get behind the chains, and we got to stay in front of the chains. And so, that really comes to me as a coach, especially me as an offensive coach, to be able to fix that. And, we're looking really, really hard at that this week. How do we put our offense in the best situation to stay in front of the chains? And, I felt like we did have some opportunities down the field on some throws. We just, whether the pass protection broke down and those kind of things, I do think we got to be able to pick our spots and create, shots down the field. That's kind of the name of the game, is the big play. And I just felt like we didn't make those plays in the Louisville game, and we need to make those plays in this game. Anything else for Coach?
Coach, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, how much are you going to lean on Ryan Aplin this week with his familiarity with Hugh Freeze and his system, and like tendencies that he might know from being a quarterback in his system?
Well, we try to take everything from everybody, and obviously, he has his opinions on things. And I've known Coach Freeze a long time. I coached at the University of Memphis when, he was head high school coach there in town at Briarcrest. And, I've always had a lot of respect for his offenses and what he does. And, he's kind of like us, you don't see the same thing over and over again. So he knows how to attack the weaknesses in a defense. And so, we just got to be prepared to play really, really sound defense and be able to make the plays that we need to make. But hopefully we'll be able to pull all our resources together and be able to put ourselves in a good spot.
Coach, this is Lisa Autry with WKU Public Radio. I just wanted to ask you about game atmosphere in the age of COVID-19. When it comes to capacity limits, no tailgating, that sort of thing. Do you anticipate that having an impact on player morale, and are you hoping restrictions will get lifted as the season progresses?
I can only give you my experience from the first game in Louisville. I felt completely normal in that game. I felt like, they had some crowd noise, they had some music, they had fans. So I felt pretty normal. And I think we'll probably have the same environment here. We're limited capacity, but feel like we have great fans, and they'll be screaming and hollering and creating all the noise they can create. And, you add in the music and band and all those kind of things. So I think it'll be a good atmosphere. To answer your question, I think the most important thing is to stay safe and healthy. And so we got to follow the guidelines that are set for us. But yeah, I hope we're able to increase capacity eventually when we all feel safe to do those things. But whatever environment we're able to play in, we'll play in it. We're just glad that we're going out there to play.